Hey, what's up, Dale? How you doing today? Yeah, we're out here trying to get the first catfish of the year, hopefully. Um, was out last week. I actually had to remember how to stream and everything. It's been a couple years because I've been out of commission for a while with a few hernia operations and total hip replacement over the winter. So, but now I'm feeling better. You know, you get the itch to get back out here and do this. So, I'm at like having a local pond that's kind of fed by a stream and kind of exits a stream exits it, and it's actually like in an industrial park tucked away. So on the pole on the left, I got cut eel. On the pole in the middle, there's a chunk of bluegill. And down on the end pole, believe it or not, we just drew on a chunk of hot dog because for some reason that always seems to work here pretty good. So we'll see what happens. You know, it's actually pretty warm today. It's supposed to go up to 60. I don't know what the water is, but I've been out here the last 2 weekends, which were cold. In fact, the pond was half frozen about 2 weeks ago, and I didn't do anything that day. Last week I had one good takedown, and that was about it just couldn't hook up. But I got a feeling today's the day. So, but I appreciate the good luck wishes, and I finished getting set up here, and thanks for stopping by. If you could do me a favor, Dale, if you're still in here, or anybody who might be in here, if you could just let me know if you could hear me. I had a little problem with the mic. So, oh yeah, Dale, they'll be biting soon. Like I said, it's still early. I'm located in New Jersey, but it's still early. But I do get them in the wintertime. It's just a real slow bite. That's all. So I don't expect crazy action here, but it sure beats sitting at home. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Left. Ba, ba, ba. I think I'm charging. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum. Hey, good morning. How you doing? What's going on? Anything?
Yeah, not much.
You ain't fishing today?
Huh?
You ain't fishing? Don't you usually fish here?
I do usually fish
It's
here,
your
but
buddy over there, right?
huh?
It's your buddy sometimes?
I usually fish over there, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I think I met you a couple of years ago.
yeah,
You know?
I'm going through a bad time. I got myself in trouble with a woman I was with, and when I broke up with her, I started talking to other women. She didn't like that, so she had me put in Bergen County jail for 4 months. And on lies, and that's it is what it is. My own fault.
Get back to fishing, bro.
Yeah,
Get
well,
back
I
to
lost
fishing.
everything, man. I
Yeah.
got it while I was in Bergen County jail. I got evicted.
And I'm thinking you're the same guy. You
Yeah,
used to fish with Kelly's a lot.
I don't know.
You
I
don't
know.
like Kelly's?
No, I usually fish with chicken livers or
All
Peach
right.
in the corner. So,
Yeah, maybe other. Yeah, there was a guy looked just like you. He was heavier though at the time, you
huh.
know. And I was here a few years ago, and he was talking. He caught a nice catfish over there. You know, really
Yeah,
nice
I usually do pretty good when I fish here.
Yeah, so I usually do too.
Yeah,
It's been so far I haven't gotten anything.
yeah,
I came last week. What was it, half the pond was still frozen.
yeah. I
So
think you'll get them going. I think it's
I
starting
think
tonight.
so. I was here 2 weeks ago, and half of the pond was frozen. And I just, I threw it on the.
Yeah,
So I threw it where it was open water. I had one good take. I know
yeah.
it was a cat. It was way over. I just didn't get the hook up.
I usually get them fighting really good, like around the end of April, beginning of
Oh
May.
yeah, yeah. That's awesome. So I
But
just always get anxious.
yeah, I lost all my fishing stuff.
Oh,
Everything in the eviction I lost except for my Harley. So at least
at
I'm
least
still
you
in
got
that.
that.
Yeah.
That's good. I'd rather lose a drop than
But
my
man, I
Harley,
just like,
man.
but it just stinks because I had problems with her during August, and she had me in and out of jail during August, and it's like when I got out of jail, I couldn't go back to my place. They let
Yep.
her stay there instead, and it's just like
Yeah.
I go out, I bought $1,500, $2,000 worth of new clothes and stuff, and I lost everything. Like everything I had, all my fishing stuff, all my clothes, all my tools, all gone. So I'm gonna start over, but it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
A lot of
Hey,
good came out of it.
I've been in some tough spots
Yeah,
too.
and well, it was
Maybe
like
not quite
it was like
there.
like when I
But
first got to jail, I was mother effing her and pointing the finger and it's going, I can't believe you did this to me. And
yeah,
I did it to myself, man. It's
yeah.
like it's just, I got rid of her in October or late September. She went back to North Carolina to be with her kids and called me up crying that her kids didn't want her there. I think just hung up.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel bad for the dog we had that was with her, so I bring her back,
Yeah.
and that just got me locked up. So. After like a month of or 3 weeks of her doing drugs in front of me and stuff, I was just like, listen, you know what? You gotta go. This ain't working out. You gotta go. And it all worked out for the best, though. So like after
Channel your energy somewhere else.
after my detention hearing the day before Thanksgiving, when I thought they were gonna have a heart and let me out for Thanksgiving, and they decided to keep me, I changed my whole outlook. I started going to Bible study in there and
Yeah.
AA in there, and
That's what I was gonna say.
yeah.
Channel your energy somewhere. You start lifting or start.
Yeah, man.
You
Well,
gotta.
there was a
You gotta
couple
find
incidences
something.
in the Bible study where they had me looking up and saying, "So you're telling me it's time to change my ways?" I hear you loud and clear,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm doing now. It's
All
like I
right, man.
got out and I'm starting over. Luckily, I'm not sleeping on a fence or in the woods. I got a friend who's helping me out with a garage over there. I got a
Yeah.
cot and a sleeping
Got,
bag, and
as long as you drive. You know what
yeah,
I mean? That's the main thing.
I'm getting work here and there with my job. I'm a union member, and I'm
Yeah.
just one day at a time, taking it slow. I went back to AA and NA meetings, and
You'll be amazed that you'll be a year from
yeah,
now.
man, like I had 12 years clean at one time, from like '87 to 2000, and then my ex-wife, the bad breakup, I went back out, and I wish I would have went back to meetings then, But so I had 12 years clean, and I have 24 years out, and I'm done, man. I'm too old, and I had enough.
I hear you, man. I wish you the luck, man.
Yeah,
Like,
thank
oh,
you. I
maybe I'll
wish
see
I
you
wish
at
you the
Christmas.
luck, man. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it don't
Yeah.
matter. It's better than sitting
Just
home.
saying that a couple of I'm trying to get my unemployment straightened out. They owe me like 7 grand. So like once I do that, I'm going to DMV this week again to straighten my ID out. Then I got to go to unemployment, prove who I am, and then like once they put that money in my bank account, I'm gonna be all right.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
I'll get some new fishing gear and you'll see
That's
me
it.
down here.
That's it, man. I'll
All
be
right.
here. All right, that'd be good.
Yeah, have a great day,
Where's the
man.
fishing, by the way?
Huh? What? I'll stick with this. I just wiped this.
Yeah.
Richard.
All right, man.
Richard, man. Good to meet you.
All right. Holy smokes! I don't know if that picked up.
I used to fish for like catfish here, about 1 mile east behind town. Yeah, it was like crazy. It was like this little thing, this giant bass with this little tiny fish. It was amazing. Yeah, well, you know what it is? Like I grew up here when I was a kid. Fish were all around. Yeah, you know, the surf and especially the bass. Yeah, right. If you had the bay we have now, like back then, the fish would be much smaller. Yeah, man. I caught trout here and trout and mackerel. You see a mackerel in there? It's almost full, but they're not as large. They're just as big as most the most realize. And I put it in my mouth and I hooked them. I had it out. Hold on, I didn't cut it off. Yeah.
Whew, holy moly! As I was saying before, the gentleman called me back. I don't know if that picked up on the mic because we were just staying a few feet off. There's a lot of background noise, but that was one interesting fella there. He talked about being in the pen and all of this stuff, and pretty glad I had my bait knife along my side. But, yeah, you never know. You never know what you're gonna need or come across out here. Good morning. Hey, could you tell me if you could actually hear me or not? I'm not sure if the mic's working on this. Out here this morning, just trying to get the first one of the year. Still pretty cold, but we're gonna give it a shot. Got three rods out. Rod on the far left. That one there has cut American eel on it. A chunk of that. The one over here in the middle. That one there has a chunk of bluegill. And there's one down way yonder, behind, just on the other side of that rock. It's hard to see it with the trees. That's got a small chunk of beef on it. Uh, so far, we haven't had any bites or anything, but it is early. Fishing it's basically just a stream-fed pond. Stream leads into it, kind of makes this pond, and the stream feeds out the other side of it. Hey, I appreciate that, Dale. I don't even really have any real followers or subscribers. I just did this a few years ago, and because all the other YouTubers and stuff like that, and I really have no desire to be a YouTuber. But I don't know if you follow others on this, but there's an older gentleman called Steve Adams, and one day I came across his live. He was catfishing on the Mississippi River, and the guy fished live streams for 5 6 hours. Didn't have many followers in the beginning. And he didn't catch many fish. He was an old boat fisherman, and he had gotten up in years a little bit to where he couldn't go out on his boat anymore. So we tried fishing the banks, which was a total different game for him. Like he says it was a whole nother realm of fishing. And but I really enjoyed watching his streams, and I would basically, because he fished during the day, I would just put it on in my work truck and just listen. So I couldn't really comment in the chat, but I would just listen. And he like, again, hours and hours, not even a bite, but the stories he told. The guy was like a walking historian. He would tell you anything you needed or asked about the Mississippi River, the tugboats that ran it, just anything of the South. He was a farmer. Anything with cotton or corn crops or anything. And it wasn't even about the fishing. He was just really a cool guy to listen to. And it got me to thinking. I'm like, boy, I sit out here a lot and fish hours and hours by myself. I don't really have anyone I go fishing with. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just stream. Not advertising, not hound people for followers or anything like that, but just to sit here and fish and have somebody maybe to chat with, waiting on a bite. And the second reason I did this too is I have some old Army buddies, because I'm not a young guy, and I have some Army buddies who can't get out anymore. They've had strokes or this or that, and they had diabetes, it just all realms of things that prevent them from getting out and doing this anymore. So I often tell them, I'll go live and come in, join me, chat, whatever, and pick a poll. And whatever happens on that poll is your fish for today. But that's all. That's why I'm out here. Don't get me wrong, a fish would help. So. Oh, okay. So you're familiar? Yeah. Yep. Yeah. He does, I still watch his lives when they come up. He usually comes on at night. He doesn't come up much anymore. Yeah, a whole lot anymore. But when he goes live at night, I'll jump on and he talks for a while about fermenting cabbage and fermenting vegetables. And believe it or not, I tried the cabbage. You know, and it wasn't bad. It really wasn't. I was afraid I was going to poison myself, but yeah. So I kind of miss him fishing out on the river. You know, but it's really about the only one I really kind of clue in, like watch when he goes live. I mean, there's like you probably know them all: Pontoon Jody, um, uh, Danny Outdoor. Danny Stone. They, I watch them when they come up. But man, there's just something about the stories Steve used to tell that I really enjoyed those streams a lot. But I'm located here in New Jersey. What we really have is channel cats. It's not much of a show to watch. Fish in my area. Although I do get out and fish the Schuylkill River in Pennsylvania for flatheads. That'll probably start in about another month. And then usually I'll start making trips. Now that I got my hip is better and stuff. I'll start making trips down to like Maryland again and fish for blues down there. I used to take the trip all the way down to the Potomac River, and that's about a little over a 3-hour drive for me. But I'd go down there, you know. I'd get them, I'd catch them up down there, and it was just a long drive down, a long drive back. Once or twice, I got a room for the night there, but for the most part, I just stick to chasing channel catfish here in New Jersey. And once the flatheads wake up, I head down to the Philadelphia area for that, and we'll see what's up. We'll see. Like I said, I'm guess I'm feeling a little too good lately, and I'm jumping at the gun here to try to catch some fish. Steve and Troy now are into that driving truck driving game, so they do that a lot. But, yeah, so far no bites. When you left a little while ago, I don't know if it even picked up on my mic. A gentleman come walking by out of camera range, and I was like, "Thank God I had my bait knife next to me because this guy just I don't know what it was. He just opened up. He was just telling me how he just got out of jail. He's sleeping in the garage. He came walking out of the woods, and there's a porta john sitting back here, and I heard the door slam. And I looked, and he came out and he started walking towards me, and I was like, "Yep, okay, this is what's going on." Told me his whole life story about being locked up and his girlfriend and all these crazy things, and all I'm thinking about is, where's my bait knife? But he's probably harmless, probably just a guy down on his luck. So, yeah, you're right. Yep. He said he lost everything, and on the other side of the woods through there's some old garages that somebody's letting him stay in. And I guess he uses the porter job for his bathroom needs here. He sat here about 10 minutes and then kind of moseyed on off back into the woods. So, where are you from? What state are you from? Ohio. It's still pretty cold out there too, I reckon. I actually was out to Columbus, Ohio back in last July. It's actually the first time I ever, no, second time I was ever out in Ohio. I went about 2 years ago out in Ohio by Junction City, I believe it was. And that's where I picked up my red heeler. I picked up a dog out there. And then the last July, I was out in Columbus, Ohio. I went out and trained at a gym out there called Westside Barbell. That's one of my other hobbies I got back into a couple of years back. Was back into the gym. So I got an invite to go out to Westside. And took about 3 or 4 days. Went out there. Pretty easy trip. Just got on the highway from here and drove straight. Yeah, well, not 65 here today, but we are supposed to hit 60, which is way above what it's been. We've been, in the 30s, 40s, feels like 20s, with the wind. So, I mean, the sun. I'm sitting out here in just a sweatshirt, and the sun actually feels real good. But that's got, a day like today ain't gonna do nothing with the water temps, but we'll see. If you're on YouTube, I probably do watch YouTube. I'm just not recognizing the name, and I apologize for that. Oh yeah, the Arnold. You know what? You say that the Arnold is this weekend, and I have a couple of friends from the gym who went out there, and I was actually supposed to go this weekend to it with the owner of our gym. We had planned to go, and then I guess about a month ago, he came up to me and said, he didn't think he'd have the cash to go out and do that, and so I just I was on disability for the last 4 months. I finally got back to work in January. So, I mean, I had the money to go out and do it, but I felt bad that he didn't. So I just told him, you know what, we'll go next year. But, yeah, we have a couple guys from the gym that I hang out with, and they're all out there. So I'll get out there next year, maybe. Yeah, I'm slowly getting back into the chats, trying, I actually caught an episode of Catfish Weekly again. And, I was looking through. I'm like, oh, they just so happened their show is about channel cats, which caught my attention. So I was like, yep, let me get these rods out here and see. There's got to be one fish out there that's gotta want something. I usually fish this place at night. It's a lot. I don't know. I can't say better because I do catch quality fish here any time of day, but at night it just seems to be a bit better. I really wish one of these poles would take a bend so it gives you something to look at. I guess when you're live streaming, it's kind of like watching a pot boil. You kind of just jinx yourself. Fish or camera shy. Sure, no problem, Dale. Take your time. Nothing's happening. Go wash the car, take the dog for a walk, whatever. I just appreciate you stopping in. Fishy, fishy in the brook. Come on out and bite my hook. Hey, Polar Bear, what's going on? What's up, Chad? Yeah, I'm sitting out here trying to catch a channel. It's been a long winter. Oh, it's real nice. It's unseasonably nice. We had about 5 inches of cold rain yesterday, which I don't think is going to help me any. But today's forecasted to be 60, and I'm sitting out here now, and the sun is just it feels real good. Sitting out here in just nothing but a sweatshirt. So, yeah, no bites yet. I got 3 rods out. The rod on the left, which is over here, I got a piece of American eel on that. The, this rod here, actually, I just, for the heck of it, threw on a chunk of pork. And then I got another rod. It's hard to see. It's behind that rock there. That has a piece of bluegill. But the shad and the bluegill are all stuff that I had vacuum sealed, from over the winter. So, I mean, it should work. They're only channel cats. But I always feel better when everything's fresh. But we got probably another month before all that happens. This pond was half frozen over a week ago, and I actually had one good bite. I had a good takedown, but I just didn't connect. So I really thought, okay, well they're here. It's good. It's going to start happening. And then all of a sudden, it just kind of that was it. It was a one bite wonder. Yeah, I don't know how long I'll stay out. Maybe a couple hours, maybe till noon, and then move on to something else. So it's been it's a nice morning anyway. I'm still new to all the streaming stuff. I did it a couple years ago when I first kind of got the bug, following everyone on YouTube and stuff, and then I had some couple of hernia operations, and then a hip that went bad that needed a total replacement last year, and they tried it back in April. And when they put me on the table, everything looked good, and my heart stopped. So that canceled that. I could barely walk at the time, so that canceled that operation. And they told me, I had to go see a cardiologist, all of that stuff. It took me all summer to get in to see them doctors, and I was just wiped out. I didn't want to fish. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to be better, and so kind of hung up the fishing rods for most of the year last year, and then got the hip done in August. Got back to work in January, feeling like a new man now. I really do. I can't believe the difference that operation made. And so now I'm chomping at the bit. Eyeing up the boat in the driveway. I'm going to get the cover off that soon. I got a 16-foot aluminum, bare bones. I take out into one of the little river creeks here, and it does have some flatheads in it. So I'm hoping to get rolling on that in another month. But for now, we're just trying to catch that first catfish of the year. Hi, sweetheart. How are you? That's my wife. My better half who lets me come out here and do this stuff. I had to get I had to get one subscriber, right? Right, Chad? So, no Jeanette, no fish yet, no bites. Same as last week. No, last week we had the bite, but nothing so far. So, when I get home, I have to tell you about the convicted felon that chatted me up earlier on this. He I was sitting here fishing. No, nobody's watching the stream, and I'm just sitting here, and all of a sudden, there's a porta john over to my left behind me, and I hear the door slam. About 20 minutes later, the door opens up and slams again, and there's no cars, no nothing. The guy comes walking over to me, and he didn't see the camera or anything, so I start talking to him off to the side, and I'm not sure if it was picked up on the stream. If if it did, it's kind of interesting. He just came out and said he was down on his luck. He just got out of prison. He's screwed up in life. And I'm thinking, where's my bait knife? So I got my bait knife next to me, and he's talking. I mean, you know, girl cleaned him out. Whole 9 yards. He lost everything. Was evicted. Doesn't even have his fishing rods anymore. And so, I just kind of was staring at him. I didn't know what the hell to say to him, really. And he goes, yeah. He goes, I got nothing. So I thought he was looking for something from me. And he goes, well, I'll be all right. My friend's letting me sleep in one of these industrial garages on the other side of the woods there. And I was like, okay, so at least you're warm and dry. He goes, yeah. He goes, I fucked up. But I found God. I found God. I said, well, that's good. And off he walked. He walked into the woods. So the only thing I can figure is he's either sleeping in the woods or he is in one of these old abandoned looking warehouses over here. And he uses the porta john to take care of business and just comes in and out of the woods for that. So, but, my wife will tell you if there's a weirdo out there somewhere, I attract him. So, boom, 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 boom. But that's it. There's nothing going on fish wise. What do they say? If it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Now this will turn on soon. It will. Another week or so, 2 weeks. Yeah, actually, there's tracks that go through here too. It's actually this little pond that's fed by a stream is tucked in the back of an industrial park. So yeah, no telling what's living in the area. So, got a bunch of birds fighting behind me. That must be spring's coming. I never really had the Chad. I never really had much problem with people and fishing. I always attribute it to, I think people know that most fishermen have knives on them, so they don't really get messed with. Because I fish a lot in the later spring and summer down in Philadelphia along the Schuylkill River, and I'll fish at night there for the flatheads. And I'll be out there 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and you get all kinds of people you know, walking up behind you and asking what you're doing and stuff. So luckily, I've never ever really had a problem. So always keep always check over your shoulder. Where are you from, Chad? What state are you fishing? Oh, you out there by Dale? Dale was in earlier. He said the same thing. From Columbus. He was telling me the Arnold's going on out there now. I imagine it's pretty much the same weather patterns here. I guess your guys are all basically waiting for things to warm up too. Oh, cool. Do you guys ever meet, fish together, and stuff like that, or just know each other through? through the community. Yeah, like I said, I really don't even know many through the community either. Just messed around with it a little bit a couple of years ago. So I know the names, but I really haven't chatted with anybody like personally. And I streamed a little bit a couple of years ago, and picked up a few subscribers, but it was you know, really wasn't anything spectacular because again, I just don't have the fish in my area that kind of makes people want to watch. You know, so. And then again, like I said, I got away from everything for a while. I even deleted a lot of my other lives from a couple years ago. And then I don't know. I just again, always listening to Steve Adams just it really got me into it because I'm thinking, he goes out there and just you know doesn't catch fish, but he has a good time talking to people. I'm like, hey, no luck yet, nothing, nothing skeeter stick, nothing. Not even a bite. And I thought for sure. I thought for sure. I got American eel out. I got bluegill out. And I had a chunk of pork on that I actually switched out. I figured, you know what? I lowered my standards. I threw a chunk of old hot dog on there. No, I don't, Chad. I don't know New Jersey fishing maniac. So I'm sure there's guys, like I said, I got a lot of I got to kind of refresh myself on this whole thing, because I'll tell you right now, 3 on my live stream is about as many as I think I might have ever had. No, there was a couple years ago when I was fishing down in Maryland for blues. I was out one night and actually had a few people. I think Lisa Elliott came in and Martin from the UK was in. And actually, I had a whole high school friend who had no idea I was on YouTube, and he just somehow stumbled across me. He came in, but nah, that's it. It's like three. It's like three viewers now. It's close to a record for me. Yeah, Skeeter Stick. A couple of weeks ago, I put all new line on the reels. I got everything ready, and I was just like, you know what? Let's go. Because this spot that I'm fishing now, back when I just fished and didn't worry about live streaming or anything, I could come here all year. I could come here January and December, and I would always catch a fish or two at least. And it must be the thing because you got the camera out now it's going to make fun of you. But there's some good channels in here. There's I've seen them over 8, 10 pounds. I think my biggest I got out of here myself is 8. But there's a gentleman here the one day. He had one that was every bit 8 or 9. Also saw a kid pull out about an 8 pound bass out of here one day. And there's carp in here and crappie and all of that stuff. I don't mess with that stuff. Chad, where did you meet Martin? Did he come to the States or did you go out, did you jump across the pond? I don't think if I remember right, Martin never sleeps. I think any live that there ever is, he's there. You know. Kind of amazing. Oh no, polar bear. Chad's itching too. Go out. Misery loves company. Go out. Ah, Skeeter Stick. Now I know who you are. Hey, John, what's going on? I don't know why I didn't place the name. No, you can go to Freeman's. No, I think it was like 2 years ago I slid in there and caught a carp. I think I had that. I posted that on Facebook. I don't know if you saw it. And I got like a little 3 pounder on the bridge over there on the Midwood Way side. I don't know. I stopped by there at lunch though one day, and I saw the snapping turtles, down there eating everything, and some old lady come down the street with a bag of pork chop bones and just threw them over the bridge, and the snapping turtles came up and just feasted on them. So I noticed the carp were there, so I went back after work one day, and I said I just had to, oh my god, for old time's sake. I mean, gosh, me and you, we fished that when we were kids. What's that? 40 something years ago or better. And I got things to do tomorrow too, John. I gotta go to work. Oh, that's Chad. Can't wear yourself out, huh? Yeah, you know what, Chad? Conserve your energy for when they really turn on. You know? Like I said, I haven't even seen the rod dip here. 14 pounds out of Freeman's. That's pretty good. My biggest one I ever got, John, there was, God, it was when I was in Paperboy. And I had I guess it was like a 10-speed bike that had the paper rack on the back, for your papers. And I went down there, with that bike. I had my fishing rod, a can of corn, and I was on the New Dover side. And there used to be a tree that had laid down into the lake, into the pond there. And I used to always just bait up my rod and lay the rod right on top of the trunk. And of course, you know exactly what happened. One day, all of a sudden, I just heard like a dragon sound, and my rod skidded across the trunk of that tree and went right into the water. So I chased it, got it, and I never weighed that fish, but it wasn't all that big. But I do remember wanting to go home and show my folks, so I took the carp and I stuck his head under the paper rack, right? I had the little clamp, So I put the head, thing clapped shut on it, and I rode my bike all the way home to show my mom, and the tail was dragging on the street as I was going down New Dover Road and then up, Semmel and all of that. But my biggest carp that I ever caught that I weighed was out of the Raritan River. And I think that was somewhere around 20, 24, just under 25 pounds. So, yeah, there's a lot of good memories at Freeman's Pond. Roosevelt Park Pond, too. Remember those days? Yeah. Hey, that was a long time ago when you used to tie flies, if I remember right. I don't know. This is something to do. Carry me over to lunchtime, I guess, and then I'll throw everything in the Jeep and head home. I'm still not giving up. I still can't believe I haven't gotten a bite here in 2 weeks. So I know it's got to happen. It just got to. I don't know how cool it is I do this. It'd be cooler if I could catch fish. Right? Just John. I know I don't. You're not really with the catfish community here, um, but when you're on YouTube, look up Steve Adams, fish in the Mississippi. Not, it's a different spelling on the river Mississippi. He spells it Misipy, like Mississippi. You'll enjoy him, because he's a guy who is from Mississippi, and the history and stuff that he talks about might be up your alley. You know, for bait, yeah, it is the camera curse. It absolutely is. It, but for bait, John, I got on this rod here. There's a chunk of American eel. The rod in the middle here has a piece of. Actually, I lowered my standards significantly and threw a hot dog on it. And then the far end rod, which is on the other side of this boulder, it's kind of hard to see with the trees. That has cut bluegill on it, a piece of bluegill. So, yeah, I know. I threw a hot dog out there. I hope people don't find out. Yeah, I believe that's it, John. Yeah, it's a, yeah, he's good. I really got into him because it was like I could identify. He sets up on the Mississippi River and he'll go live 5 6 hours without a bite. And I don't know what it is. There's just listening to him. And I guess because I work in the truck all day by myself, and I'm in the truck all day going stop to stop. I would just when he'd go live, I would just jump in and listen. And I mean, he talked about everything, and I'm kind of like into that stuff, into the history. So he talks everything about the Mississippi River. He knows everything about it. He knows every towboat that goes up and down. And when they pass him going fishing, he'll tell you the name, the engine, everything on it. And he has another hobby. He doesn't fish anymore because, well, he used to be a boat fisherman, and then he didn't trust himself in the boat anymore. So he started with the bank fishing, but even that got to be a little hard on him. So he doesn't fish anymore. But every once in a while, he does pop up live, and he'll just chat, because he still follows everyone in the catfishing community, but he doesn't get out anymore. Oh, sure, absolutely. That's what I'm just happy to be out too. A lot of times I'll go home, my wife would be like, to get him. I'm like, nah, but it's not about that. I can I I do catch, believe it or not. It's just it's the curse of the camera. So, Chad, I caught a cat here one time that it was like I got a photo of it on my Instagram, and I have to see if I could dig it up, um, and somehow get it to you. It's the one whisker. We all caught catfish with split whiskers, but this thing here, it looked like lightning streaking across the sky. It was like if it was a deer, it would have been an all time non typical. The one barbell coming off didn't split once, didn't split twice, but it split like 10 times, and each it just the splits had splits on them. It was pretty sharp. It's on my Instagram page. It's pretty far down in there, but I don't know if you're on Facebook or anything like that, Chad, because I've messaged it to you. John, I can send you the picture of that catfish because we're friends on Facebook and stuff, and yeah, that was crazy. I don't even think if you took it to a taxidermist if they could even replicate something like that. It was pretty cool. Yeah, Chad, I know he does that trucks American Trucks Simulator with Troy and Hogleg a lot. So, but a lot of times I think when he's busy driving, he really doesn't keep up with the chat, Steve. You know, so but that's I started following Troy just for that, so that um, I could get keep tabs on everybody. So yeah, Troy does that. I know Troy does the games with all the hunting and fishing games too. But I know Steve really got into the truck simulator. That's all right, Chad. Facebook isn't. It's a it's a blessing. It's a curse. So I actually like Instagram more myself. 'll figure out a way to get you that picture to you, Chad. 2 weeks ago, I was fishing here, and I wasn't on. I wasn't live or streaming. I didn't. Just before I even decided to give this all another shot, and ended up somehow. I don't know how. I hooked a Canadian goose, and it was a real show because half the pond was still frozen. So it got up and then landed on the frozen part of the pond, and it was carrying on, and then all the other geese came around, and I didn't know what the heck to do. I didn't want to just cut the line and have that poor thing have 75 feet of line or better hanging from it. So I gently pulled on the line, pulling them across the ice towards me. The other geese were going nuts. It was going. I'm glad nobody was here because they probably would have told me I was some kind of, you know. And so finally, I was able to drag it across the ice, got it to me, and it was like those other geese. They wanted to tear me up, but I did. I got it off. Yeah, I was able to get the goose close enough to me, and I was able to cut the hook off out of its wing. It was a circle hook, so it kind of went through, but I was able to cut it off and get it back out. So yeah, Troy's wanted for those games. You guys just play the NBA games. Huh? It's one thing I never got into. Was the virtual games and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe because I'm old, but I never had the Xbox. When I was a kid, oh, John, you'll love this. Remember Pong? That's where my gaming pretty much ended. I never had the Atari. I never had. My kids had GameCube back in the day. I'm even that showing my age. I never got into the Xbox. I think that all was just like the next age group after me that got into all the games. Yeah, but at least when you're growing up, nowadays it could be a beautiful sunny day. The kids won't come out. It's a shame. But I was all right. I really didn't need those games. because I think when I was a teenager, MTV came out back in the day when MTV played music videos, and I think that was 1982. Chad was when they came out with that, and I'm telling you right now, it was I think the first summer when I don't think many kids went out of the house. MTV music television was really pretty good, you know. Then they got away from that, started doing all the reality TV, all those things that they did, and I don't know, it was never the same. I'll check that out, John. I'll take a look. And then, hey, John, that was another thing that Steve Adams was a big Civil War buff too. Knows a lot about the Civil War, and he actually medal detects. And if on some of his streams he'll talk about it, and he's got thousands of pieces of stuff that he's dug up over the years. And I don't remember the name he said, but there was I don't know if it was a school, but some museum or college or somebody came down and actually he donated quite a bit to him. Yeah, I know. You guys didn't know it, but Jeanette there will tell you that she had the idea for the first iPod for an iPod years ago. She tells me this all the time. She's like, when I was a kid, I thought, how cool would it be if you could just take all your favorite songs and put them on, you know? Yeah, John. Yeah, he's I don't know if he'll pop up live for you, but he's got a lot of videos there. And if you're ever like, you know, really just hanging out doing nothing, um, just play his old lives, and he'll get to talking. And the stuff he talks about, I find it very interesting, you know. So, but every once in a while, John, I'll. Oh, we had a. What general was that, Chad? Oh, sure. Oh, Sherman. Yes. No kidding. Did they tear down his statue in town or no? John, I don't think that was a tap. I got a bell on there too. So I usually, but I did notice one thing, which is already going to be a problem: turtles. I can't believe I saw my first turtle already. Poked his head up before, and when they really get going in this pond, it can be a pain in the neck. I use circle hooks, John, anyway, so I kind of like I switched to those when I couldn't jump up and run anymore. You know? So I was like, you know what? Let me put the circle hooks on and let the fish pretty much set themselves. So, yeah, but when my hip was real bad, I, I would sit in a chair and it would take me forever to go the 12 feet to the rod. So I switched to circle hooks. I got those rod holders there. They ain't coming out of the ground for nothing. And it bought me a lot of time. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad at least one statue's still standing somewhere. Yeah, Chad. I don't know what happened. What happened. I gotta say though, I actually, Chad, I had that total hip replacement done, and yesterday I was actually on the treadmill running. And ran in about 8 years. I couldn't even cross the street if a car was coming, and how they wave you to go. I'd have to wave them on, because I couldn't even get out of the way of something. It was horrible, and I really can't believe how good I'm feeling again. So, but I'll stick with the circle hooks. It's better for the fish. Now I'm just wondering how long this skunk is gonna last. Could be, hopefully not. Hopefully not too much longer. All right, John, go to the store. You don't have to leave it up. You can head out. You're not missing anything. So pick up some catfish fillets while you're there. Thanks for stopping in, though, John. Give my best to the missus. All right. Ah, yeah. I hope you get out. I hope you get out at least enough. So I just saw something jump out there. Boy, it's really warming up nice today. I might have to give this a see maybe another hour or so, and then maybe go home and clean out the Jeep. Oh, that's good. Well, what are your daytime temps running now, Chad? I mean, up here, this is just an unseasonably warm day. They say 60. I got a feeling it might even go above that. And I'm feeling pretty warm. But I imagine spring's already, you're way ahead of us as far as spring. You can see the trees all back in there. We don't have any sign of spring yet, other than a couple of daffodil bulbs are starting to push up through the dirt. And bowling, geez, I'm better off sticking to catfish, and my bowling game's even worse. I do all right if you put the bumpers up. 2 weeks of cold weather. Yeah, we had my rain gauge broke. I usually always keep track of how much rain we get. But yesterday, I bet you we had every bit of 4 to 5 inches of cold rain. So I'm wondering if, you know, that could be playing a factor today too. But it wasn't, it wasn't like the water temp was really that warm to begin with. I don't think so. It always feels nice when you get a day like today, but you got to realize the water hasn't had time to warm up. Years ago, we used to take my sister-in-law worked for was a manager at a bowling alley. So you'd think I would bowl, but no, I don't. But my kids used to go there for their bowling birthday parties, and they put those bumpers up, and then I was pretty good. Didn't feel so bad. Uh, Maybe I'll give a reel these in and just kind of resituate them out there. Tell you what, that bluegill stinks. So, hopefully that's a good thing. I really can't wait for the stream back home for the bluegill to come up in there again and get some fresh stuff. You can go fishing by myself. Well, 200. That's probably about 193 points better than Meech. But, it never really bothered me, Chad. I actually like fishing by myself. I just found that really there's no one really around me anyway to go. But we used to have a guy too, but um, a lot of times you get ready or something and they cancel last minute, or you go out for a little bit and next thing you know they want to call it. So I kind of like I don't mind fishing by myself. I say that as I'm sitting here streaming so that I can have some company. But no, actually, nothing ever bothered me. I'm the kind of person I could easily go into a restaurant, sit down, and eat dinner by myself. I don't need somebody. I mean, company's nice, but being alone would never keep me from doing anything, unless it was something a physicality to it. But oh, I just had a hit. That middle rod. Oh, you know what though? It's a short little jerks. I am almost guarantee it's the turtles. Yeah, catfish would have took that right over. Ugh. Well, you know what? If it is a turtle, I'll have to lose that bait on that. That's pretty easy for the turtles to get off. I switch over to a piece of eel on that. The turtles have a lot harder time. Even if that eel's pretty tough. I'll have to see what happens. Man, it don't take long for those turtles to start. I didn't think the water was quite warm enough for them to kind of wake up yet. Yeah, I don't know. Once I found the catfish community on YouTube, I got all interested in streaming, and then I got to the point to where I found like you're more worried about streaming than you were about fishing, you know, and you're like, you know, you get through that little stage where you want followers, or you go out there and you know, and I don't know. So I kind of got away from it, and then you know, it'd be different if I had blue cats here, where you're catching something bigger, like. But how channel cats are looked upon in the catfish community. For the most part, nobody wants to watch somebody catching channel cats. But unless you're up in Wisconsin where they get 30 pounds. But so I got away from it. But then I don't know. I just figure it doesn't hurt to stream. If nobody comes, what do you? It doesn't matter. If somebody does, great. If you. But I'll make sure. When I get off of this, I'll make sure I'm subscribed to you. If not, I'll subscribe and hit the notification. And if you aren't a mod here, I think I have to wait till uh, after the stream. You can go back, I think, and go through the chat and make people mods. I'll throw you that blue wrench because I don't think I really have too many mods. Hell, I don't have too many followers. But it's all good. It's all good. I'm out here fishing. Oh, you okay on your community tab? I will have to look at that. I'll have to look at that. So, maybe that's uh, maybe that's a way I can post that split whiskered catfish. Maybe on my community tab. I'll have to take a look. But if not, you know what? I'll give you my email, and then just shoot me an email, and then maybe I can send you that photo of that catfish through my email. That'll probably work. And I'll say it here, but then I'll also, after the stream is over, if you think to look back, where you can leave comments after, the type of comments that always stay. I'll write my email in there too, but it's pretty easy. I'll give you a second to get if you need a pencil or pen or something, just let me know when you're ready. Yeah, I know you can't wrench people on StreamYard. I use StreamYard, but it goes to YouTube. And then when I view it on YouTube, because I have it linked to my YouTube account, I could do it then because I do have blue. I do have mods. Skeeter Stick was one of them. So, oh, you ready? Okay. It's M as in Mike. My last name is Jellison, so it's MJELLISON 65 @gmail.com. Actually, if you want to just write that back in the comments, I'll let you know if you got it. And then you can just send me an email. And when I get home, I'll see the email and I'll grab your email and send that photo out to you. I think that's the alarm that says the hatchery truck's bringing more catfish. Or the convicted felon living in the woods is up to no good. I'm gonna go check that middle rod just to make sure that turtle didn't do something. Yep, Chad. I don't know if you can see that. That's that turtle biting. That's why I usually don't use hot dogs, but I always bring them because I've caught more than my fair share of channels on these things. I'm gonna switch it over to a piece of eel. There you go. little piece of American eel. I go with small pieces during the wintertime. Get a lot of these in the water too. I never thought of breaking one of these up maybe one day and trying. Big old snails. Yep, mjellison65 at gmail.com. That'll do it. I can't look for your email now though, because when you dedicate your phone to stream, you really can't do anything else. Like I can't even figure out a way to see what time it is. I have to start carrying a watch or something. I mean, I know I'm 2 hours and 15 minutes in the stream, and if I started probably around 8 or 9. 10:39. All right. So 10:39. Are you Eastern out there? Is there? Yeah, I think it should be. But I can't believe it'd be 11. Yep. Okay. I was going to say there's no way it could be 11:39. Oh heck, only 10:39. Hell, catfish didn't even wake up yet. What am I worried about? Yeah, I get the American eel. I guess you follow John Parker too. I know he used to, back when I watched, he used to set out traps to catch eels. And I have one of those, but sometimes it's actually easier. I live out right on the coast in the ocean. I'm about 20 minutes from the ocean. So I used to do a lot of saltwater striper fishing on the coast and stuff. So we have bait shops there that in the fall load up with live eels for the striper fishermen. So a lot of times I'll go down there and buy a bunch, and then I vacuum seal them, and I use them for like my winter trips, like now. And but also we have Asian fish markets that sell these giant eels. Like, dang, if they're not almost 3 feet long and about as thick as I'm trying to think, like a pepperoni stick you'd buy at the grocery store, a salami, something like that. And I used to get those for fishing for flatheads and the blue cats, and I would chunk them up. But they got to be pretty expensive if they even have them anymore. A lot of times you go in there and get one eel, 2 eels from them, it's run you close to $40. But I mean, what a bait though! You put a chunk of eel on it, just doesn't come off. Just you can catch fish after fish on it. Get geese starting to fly around a bit. Hope they don't remember me. I don't want any problems with the geese. For a while, I was trying. Again, I only channel cats. I mean, I wouldn't dare use it for flatheads or anything. But we used to be able to buy like the prepackaged stuff, power nuggets and stuff like that for the catfish. I think it was catfish. Team Catfish had some nuggets that actually worked okay. I mean, like it's better than not having anything. So I used some of that. I used to use. Oh God, my wife hated it. I used to use a dip bait, and I was getting it from Texas somewhere. Benny, oh, I can't remember the name. It's been that long. Sure Shot, it was called by. I want to say the guy's name was Benny, but I can't remember the last name. My God, you cracked that 2-gallon pail open, and whew, but it worked. So I would chunk up the eels and then stick them down in that bait, and then like the week later when I'd go out, I'd fish them chunks out and use those, and it really, really worked good. But the thing was you couldn't get rid of the smell afterwards. It was on you like you couldn't believe. Forget if you got it on your clothes. It stunk to high heaven, man. So even I got tired of the stink of it. I was like, yeah, it was great to catch, but after a while, it just wasn't worth the stink anymore. I fish chicken too sometimes. I was using some of that chicken stuff like all those guys down at the Potomac were using. Where they take the chicken and they soak it in the Kool-Aid or stuff like that. I tried that, and there was actually a time I went down to Washington D.C. and I used I had some cut carp. I think I had some eel with me, but I also had chicken. With cherry Kool-Aid. I let it sit there, and that day everything I caught was on that chicken. There was nothing big, nothing over 15 pounds, but the rods that had the eel and the cut carp, I didn't even get a tap on. So chicken's nice and clean. It's cheap. Yeah, bluegill too is probably my mainstay. I'm lucky I got a stream pretty close to my house, and I'll usually go down in the morning or after work on one day, catch a pail full of them, put them in like an aerator on them, so that I have them for like the next day. So yep, same here. Regular chicken. I did the Kool-Aid thing because that's what everyone was doing, and then one day I just you got tired of having red hands and stuff. I said one day I just cut up regular chicken. It works just as well. Chicken definitely is cheaper than a box of worms. Actually, getting worms for me, a box of worms, is tough. Like I don't really have any bait shops around me, you know. So like I like to, you know, when I go for the bluegill fishing to catch my bait, I like to use mealworms. And like used to be able to get those at a bait shop, but now our bait shops are closed. So I actually have to go to a pet store, because a lot of people feed their reptiles the mealworms, and I use those. I also use corn, piece of sweet corn on a hook. Will catch a bluegill pretty quick here too. But worms, no. Like I said, unless I go dig them, and if I start digging in my yard, my dogs will continue to dig. I don't. I haven't fished with worms in a long time. And here I would just end up catching on worms everything but catfish. I'd be catching panfish. I'd be catching turtles. I'd be catching, all kinds of everything but what I want. Oh yeah, John, yeah. Charlie Bretters. Yep. The mealworms. You know, John, I don't know if you know, but I worked a short time at Charlie Brenner's back in right after I came out of the army. So it had to be 88. I came out 88. I worked there like the summer down to Charlie Brenner's. And actually, that's where I got my first boat from. Um, he bought in. Oh, he didn't leave yet. He he started selling those. They were like fiberglass skiffs, but they were geared for freshwater bass fishing. They called them trophy boats. So they bought them in, and that's actually how I bought it because I was able to get it at cost because I was working there, and so that it was a black fiberglass boat. You know, almost had the sparkling in it and stuff, and I had that boat for a lot of years, and then I ended up giving it away because I got away from just boat fishing. I gave that away. Then shortly after that is when I caught the Round Valley trophy trout bug, and I had a 16-footer all geared to troll the reservoirs. And then I realized, actually, it was then I started catfishing. We were out one night fishing for rainbow trout at night in Round Valley, which actually sounds odd, but it's a thing. You go out there on the boat and just anchor on the underwater humps, and we would fish shrimp, cut shrimp on the bottom, and we would catch rainbow trout. And then one day, I thought I had the biggest trout ever. It turned out to be a 9 pound channel cat. And when I brought that up, and it hit, came into view of my headlamp, and I saw that catfish, I was like, you know, I'd much rather catch an 8 pound channel cat than a 2 pound trout, and I made the switch the next day. I sold the boat. I ended up buying a bare bones aluminum John boat that I have a little 9.9 for, but I'm actually even going to get away from that, and I'm getting oars for it. That's how old school I'm going. I'd rather go out there with oars and fish like there's spots in the Raritan, the Millstone, and stuff that boat and a pair of oars would be perfect. I don't have to worry about whacking anything and losing a prop or a motor not starting. Yep. You know, Jeff from Charlie Brenner's, he was the owner, but before him, Jeff used to work there. There was the original owner, and I think I was, gosh, John, I had to be about 12. I got my first beagle to hunt rabbits, and I was so excited, you know, that I actually walked from my house to Charlie Brenner's with the pup. Right, that's a long walk. That's from my house in Island to Rawway. And the poor pup was only 8 weeks old. Half the time I carried it, and got inside Charlie Brenner's, and showed him the pup, and I bought a bottle of that rabbit scent so I could so I could start teaching them how to run rabbits. They used to sell that bottled scent you could put on a rag and drag around your yard. So I'm sitting there, and Jeff was there. Jeff's looking at the dog and stuff and everything. And he goes, "Who drove you here?" And I'm like, "No one." I said, "I walked." He goes, "Where do you live?" Because I was 12. I told him where, and he was dumbfounded that So he says, "I'm taking you home, right?" So I got my scent and stuff from them, and Jeff actually put me in the truck with the dog and drove me all the way back home to Island. And ever since then, I was like a loyal customer. I know Jeff pretty well, and when I came out of the army, of course, I was down there or whatever, and I asked him if he needed any summer help at the counter. And he said, "Sure." Is that a 20 horsepower, John? because I have 2.299, so I really, oh wow, we'll have to pull that out and see if it runs. I have 2.99s that I've gotten that one's an Evinrude, one's a Johnson. Yeah, actually, the Evinrude, to tell you the truth, I got from Denny Kager. It was his father's, so that runs. I don't, I don't 20 be a bit much for me, but really, we ought to pull that out. You get it, throw it on marketplace, John. Get a few bucks for it. Put that money somewhere else. You know. But yeah, Denny Kager, I picked one. I bought his father's old Evinrude, and I took it to a shop, and the guy redid it, worked it, and it runs good. It doesn't piss well, which makes me nervous. But I never had a. It hasn't never overheated or anything. It just doesn't piss like I think it should. And even though the guy who repaired it said, "Oh no, it's all good," it like kind of just dribbles. But I don't take long runs with it. I put in and I just 5-10 minutes upstream and that's it. That's what I only need oars. For what I do. So it's like I don't know. You get older, I just feel like simpler is better. Like I don't have to. If I take the gas motor out, yeah, okay, it's great, but I don't really need it. But then I have to lug all the fire extinguisher, the safety kit, everything that's now required because you have gasoline on the boat. And then I have a trolling motor too. That would be fine. But even still, probably use a trolling motor, but definitely want the oars just for getting around the real skinny water, and just in case something breaks. You have a way to get back. That's why I always put in downstream. Like when I put my boat in, I go from the ramp, I go upstream. That way, in case anything happens, I can drift back down the river and get back to the ramp. I made that mistake one time when I was a rookie. I put in at the Delaware Water Gap and went downstream, and then my motor wouldn't work. I had no oars. I had a canoe paddle, but it was too much for the current, of the Delaware. And luckily, I finally got that motor started and was able to limp back. Yeah, the electric trolling motors are pretty good. Now they're fancy, that spot lock they call it and everything else. But man, just give me an old Minkata or Minkota, however you pronounce it. 55-pound thrust was all I ever needed. Then you got that battery. So then they got a 65-pound battery to lug around. So. The only reason I use the John boat is because the bank fishing. I mean, you only have limited bank access, so it's just easier to put the boat in and then basically go upriver and just anchor. You know, fish where you can't fish the areas you can't reach by the bank. Yeah, I'm starting to get some company. It looks like here. So,
How's it going?
all right, sir. How are you today?
All right. Ain't this supposed to be a catch and release pond?
Yes, sir. Yep.
So why you got so many poles there?
Well, because it's right now it's cold out, right?
It's cold.
Well, today isn't, but it's been cold. You go in that water, you're going to be cold. So the reason I have 3 poles is because on each pole there's a different bait.
Okay.
I got a piece of eel, I got a piece of beef on that one, and I have a piece of the bluegill. So as soon as one tells me which bait, then I can switch 1 or 2 to that. But I have 3 poles. Ask me how many fish I caught today.
No.
So that's why the 3 poles. If it was busier, once it gets busier, then I only use 2. But the reason I use the 3 is when I fish a different bait to find out what they might want. Even places where I can catch and keep, I always let it go.
Where do you fish other than this?
Well, up here is about the only place in this area I fish. But then I'll fish Carteret. Carteret has a park pond and catch some catfish. I fish the Rawway River, the Millstone River.
Rawway is pretty good?
Yeah, Rawway's good.
Yeah. Stuff right there.
Yeah, Rawway Park, the Raritan River runs it like the South Branch or whatever that is. That's easy to get at. It's good going out. Still, I pretty much want to go. I have to play shoot when I'm hungry for catfish. When I'm done fishing, I stop at the market. When I'm all done, please. You know?
I used to work right here at the
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, that's why I usually
Right the wrong way, right?
that's why I usually fish here like on Sundays because it's quiet. It's like I don't know if you're familiar with the Edison area. There's Raritan Center, which is basically a place just like this. You know, it's busy as anything. I'm sure this is busy during the week. You know, so usually Sunday morning I'll come down for a few hours. Oh, it is.
That's why I'm just for the people. Yeah. I normally cut these little bushes and go over here.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was. I remember somebody was telling me a couple of years ago they were going to put a smooth all the way around.
I made a trail through there. I went through there with cutters and everything.
And then this thing is the computer.
Oh, yeah.
That would be bad for rain, you know. That's nice setup there. I come out here a couple hours on a Sunday. Until things really start to pick up my home, you know, the water warms up and all that.
Part of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Raritan.
They don't have to stop the ride. It's like,
Oh, it's a natural.
it's a natural thing.
I fished it the canal too with Delaware and the DNR canal, the one along the Raritan. Yeah, that's Hope Hampton, I was in. I was just seeing it over the long side. Yeah, I think, the third Sunday here, it's been a place in.
I thought it.
Oh, yeah, they got some good.
They got steak back. That's how I got hooked. I was like, oh my God, see that fish?
Yeah. They're Indians, you know. Oh, Mark, yeah, you figured about another 100 days and it's going to storm, you know. They're everywhere. But it's easy. That's my work. You can come in 2 hours, you know.
You ever fish on this 440? They on
Oh, no, no, no.
guys, some guys over there catching stripers like this big. They never catch one of them. They got an art. I don't know how they doing it, though.
Usually, yeah, I didn't, live out there that way, but I learned some stuff, you know. I just fishing the same way I fish in the past. I use a size 8 or, for the sled when you turn the circle hook. I go and something through a bunker or a clam or something on there, single slide, and throw it out there. That's all I do, you know. But yeah, that's it. That's my three. Maybe if I catch one, maybe another one. I got one here, one out that way, one to the right. There's nothing working today. I've been watching them. They haven't done it. But it's, it's a perfect day for us. The water comes, It'll turn on. All right, same here, brother. Be good. The gentleman there asked me why 3 poles. So I'd explain it. All right, Skeeter, get out of here. Go do your grocery shopping. Thanks for stopping in, Skeet. Polar Bear, I can't check my email until after the stream, but I'll take care of that right after I end the stream. Are you on any social media there, Polar Bear? Are you on Instagram? I'm only on Facebook and Instagram. I actually like Instagram a bit better. There's not so much of the political crap, and you can pretty much set up your Instagram to follow what you're interested in, like catfishing or whatever. I got a few different hobbies I do, Polar Bear. So I like my catfishing. I like going to the gym. I like hiking with my dogs. So now, a guy says he's a fisherman. He wants to know why I'm fishing 3 rods. You know, like when I told him, oh, each rod has a different bait. You know, I don't know. Some guy seemed a little odd. In New Jersey, here we're only allowed 3 rods on the bank. You go out on the boat, you can have as many as you want. Boy, what a beautiful day. We can get about a week's worth of weather like this, the fishing would turn on. And somebody moving in the woods way back in there. Gray sweatshirt. Yep. He'll spend tonight pulling a bunch of ticks off him. All righty. I don't know if you're here, catfish. Thanks for the follow. I'll make sure I'm following you back, sir. Man. I don't know if you could see him sneaking around out there in the woods. I'm waiting for him to fall in, actually. I don't know what he's up to. Maybe clearing out a spot for himself. No, that looks like he's climbing a tree. This might be I wonder if this is a bona fide Sasquatch. Oh, so yeah, heading back into the woodline. I might have to change this whole YouTube thing into like Squatch Hunter or something. That's right. See, I don't know. Can you see him there, Catfish and Dreams? I want to see somewhere back in there. Gray sweatshirt. He's knocking over trees and stuff. It's got to be a Squatch. Yeah, so, sure did come in at the right time because I got nothing else going on here. I mean, I might be able to get a suntan out here today, but I don't know where the fish are. I want to see if he ends up in the water. Oh, Dale, that's right. Dale was in earlier. He shared it out. I appreciate that. Well, Catfish and Dreams, I'm definitely no YouTube star. It probably doesn't help streaming this early in the year for us because the action is really slow. So it's not like we're gonna label this as an action film or anything like that. Yeah, I wish there was a way you could zoom during your stream. You know, because it definitely is. He's just behind the reeds there. I mean, I could see him easily, with the naked eye here, and looks like he might be trying to clear out a spot along the bank. You know, maybe he's doing some like preseason scouting. Now he's right about there. Yeah. Well, next time you go live, Catfish, I'll be there. Yeah. Yep. Well, when people give me that look, like what's this guy doing talking to his phone or whatever, and if they do come over and ask, part of the reason too I stream, although you're not in today, I have a couple of army buddies that from back in the day that can't get out anymore and fish. So what I told them when I first originally started streaming a couple of years ago, for the short time I did, was I'll set up a camera. I said, and I'll stream. I said, and you got just come on in and chat. I said, and you know I'll put 3 rods out. Tell me which one is going to be quote unquote like your rod for today. You know, and say my buddy Floyd says, "Oh, the left rod." All right, now he's fishing through me. You know what I mean? And I'll tell him, what bait I have and what bait he wants me to put on. And that's his rod, and so that's why I pretty much stream. Yeah, you see, he's up to something. He's got to disappear again. If he comes closer to the water, you might see him. But that's definitely a squatch, easily over 6 feet tall, breaking whole trees. Oh shit, that's too funny. I mean, he's having at it with those branches over there, man. I mean, I don't know what time of the year that the Sasquatch go into rut, but this might be a rutting squatch. Yeah, I'm thinking. It's providing me entertainment. He gets that area all cleaned out. I just might make a move. He'll come next week. I'll be set up over there. Oh, he's probably got his own life going over there. Like, hey, check out this guy on the far bank. He's he's talking into a microphone between my camera being on the tripod and stuff. Hey, two dummies that should be home cleaning the garage or something, right? Oh, that's pretty funny. I hope you stop them more often. Oh, good gosh. You would think with all this laughing and stuff, one of these rods would bend over, like I don't think so. Oh, I will. Muskrat Adventure. You know what? That rings a bell. Like I think I remember that um, from when I was on a couple years ago. Muskrat Adventures. Yep. I'll check them out this afternoon once I finish up here. I had a few lives that I did. Um, it was a couple years ago, and I don't know, for some reason I took them all down. I deleted them all except maybe the very first one that I did. I think I left that one for some reason. And I know I used to fish. It was one night I was fishing down in Maryland. I was fishing I want to say the Sassafras River for blues. I was on the bank, and I'm not sure if he popped in. Definitely Martin from the UK. He was in, and but that was a few years. I can't remember exactly when. I'm gonna say maybe around 2019, somewhere around there. And then I just got away from it. Tuesday at 8 p.m. All right, I'll be there. I'll be there. I actually just caught the Catfish Weekly, which I hadn't watched in a while either. And the other day, which kind of sparked me up a little bit because it was about channel catfishing. So, and that's pretty much the main staple of my fishing. here. I do have a small little river where, I was telling my friend John there that I could use a John boat in and a set of oars that does have flatheads in it. So it's a matter of getting out there and really getting on there, getting on them. And then I definitely have great flathead fishing down on the Schuylkill River in Philly. That's about an hour and 15 minutes, and from me, probably like mid-April, I'll start doing like a weekly. I take a weekly trip down there. I go down there on a Thursday night and I'll fish all night on the bank for flatheads, and turn around, come home. Like during the summer months, I take Fridays off of work, so I'll fish like I'll pull an all-nighter fishing Thursday down in Philly. Then I roll home and get home about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then in the summer my wife's off of work. She works for a school, and basically I'll roll in and then we'll roll right back out and go down to the shore, go down to the beach, and I'll catch a few hours of sleep on the beach Friday, and then spend like Friday afternoon on the boardwalk or whatever. I still have the whole weekend ahead. I might go out again on a Saturday or Sunday, but mainly, during that time of year when the flatheads are really going, it's usually Thursday nights. Oh, flatheads are unbelievable, So, yeah, you got monster channels in Ohio. Our state record for a channel cat here is 33 pounds, which I don't think will ever be broken because it was set in I want to say the 70s, either 77, 78, at a lake we have up here called Lake Hopatcong. And I don't think anything has even come close to it. I mean, 10-pound channel cat here is like, you get a little recognized from the state from that, But, yeah, 33 pounds. I mean, there's a photo of it, and boy, it sure doesn't look it. But, I guess it had to get weighed and measured it back then somewhere, But, I see some of the channels that you guys catch, and especially out there like in Wisconsin and stuff. I mean, 30-pound channels are just a monster, I mean, I don't say just, because, it's what I catch here, but channel cats, like pound for pound, really are excellent fighters. Just, I mean, every once in a while when I do tie in the one over 8, 9 pounds here, it's, it's a fight. 20 pounders plus here. Oh, I got to gas up the Jeep. I'm heading west, young man. That would be something. Biggest channel I ever caught here was 15, and really nothing. Maybe a 12, one or two 12s, and then the rest are like 10 and under. My biggest blue, actually, I got out of the Potomac River. That's 57 pounds. It's my biggest blue. And my biggest flathead came out of Schuylkill. That was a little over, it was like 43 pounds. Oh, no, no, it isn't, In fact, I caught it and I had to look at it. I'm like, is this a blue, But as of right now, there are no blue cats in New Jersey. They are, starting to come up the Delaware River. Right around the, where Delaware is, and then New Jersey, the bridge. I don't know if it's the Walt Whitman or one of those bridges down there. They're starting to catch them on the New Jersey side. Down in the Trenton area, they're starting. So I don't know if I'll ever really see good blue cat fishing in the Delaware in my time. I'm just about 60 years old now, but next generation should see some, blue cats in the Delaware here. The flatheads, yeah, they do give up. I mean, they fight at first, but they do give up. They give you that roll at the end, and same with the blues. Yeah, channel cats just like I said, if they could get channel cats could get to be 50 pounds, it'd be hell on wheels. I think you might see Squatch real good now. He cleared the whole bank out over there. Is that him? No kidding. Wow, that's pretty cool. I once, had this thing. I wanted to put like a 150-gallon tank in my basement, freshwater like tank, and I wanted to get fingerling blue cats, a couple of them, to put in the aquarium. Right. I got in touch with a place called I think it was Osage Hatcheries or something, but they wouldn't ship to New Jersey because New Jersey has something against a band on it or whatever, unless without a permit or something. So I had written the state and I asked them, would it be possible, like for me to bring them in for aquarium, whatever. And they gave me a long letter back saying, they don't want blue cats anywhere near the state. Although there was no law saying I couldn't get a couple for an aquarium. Um, that they highly discourage it, right? Then I find out too that the guy from the hatchery that I wanted to get him from kind of knows our guy here who works for the state in the fisheries department, so they know each other. So that wasn't going to happen. They weren't going to ship me any of those fingerlings. And I didn't want to really go against the guys here because I don't need anyone, down the road giving me a hard time out here. Yeah, that's right. He's got a love nest out there. I'm telling you, it's the rut. It is Sasquatch rutting season here. I just, you know, I hope he doesn't identify me as a female squatch. Yeah, I gotta do something. I don't know, deepen my voice or something. Like go away, hey, I'm a dude. Something like that. Maybe. I hope he doesn't start any mating calls start to happen. I'm out of here. The stream's gonna end. uh, yeah. Good Lord, man. There's nothing. Not a tap or nothing today. Yep. Wow. Yeah. Fishing 3 hours, not even a bite. That's all right. Still got a half a thermos of coffee. I think a record of 4 people on the stream. All right, this is freaky now. He's just standing there with his hands on his hips, staring my way. I'll definitely be there. I'll come in. I'll come in the muskrat. I ain't worried about followers or nothing like that. I just set it up, and if somebody pops in, they pop in. It's all good. I appreciate it though. It gets a little warmer. looking forward to doing some night fishing. As nice as it is during the day when the sun's up, as soon as it gets dark, it still gets cold here. And the bite isn't anything that warrants coming out at night just yet. Night fishing is 100% it. There's nothing beats it. Before I used to, like I said, this whole streaming thing is new, but I'd go out and fish on the banks and at night, and if it'd be like 2 o'clock in the morning and I'd catch something, I would post a photo on my Facebook page or whatever, and you'd be surprised, the how many people are still awake at night of your friends. Like, you think you're the only one who sits up at night. 2 o'clock in the morning, you post a picture of a catfish, and next thing you know, you got 3 or 4 likes, and you look and you're like, yep. But it's at least where I fish at night, I don't see anybody. It's just peaceful. Along that big old jet going overhead. Yeah, the boat traffic's the worst. I used to never even take my boat out on the weekends because of the boat ramp and everything like that. I would basically use my boat when I was on vacation, midweek, Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays. That's why I like that, taking that Fridays off. Like I was saying, I go out on a Thursday night, fish, and pretty much have any place to myself. And I usually only fish the weekends, like Sunday mornings. I'll get up and go Sunday. Saturdays, I usually do something with my wife. We are actually we live close to the beaches here, right along the coast here in New Jersey. So I do a lot of beach combing too. That's especially in the wintertime. We just get up early, we go walk the coast, go walk the beaches, see what washes up. And then I usually do that and then go get lunch or something like that. So Saturday is the day we do things together. And Sunday morning, I'll usually get up early and just come out, fish somewhere for a few hours. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, those 3-day weekends or the 4-day weekends I take, again, Thursday night, man, I get my fill of flatheads, and then, I love the beach too. I love going down to the beach, laying on the beach Friday. A lot of times you turn around and go to another beach on Saturday. Then I'll get up and fish somewhere local, channel catfish on Sunday mornings. And I'm usually home. I usually wrap it up around noon and head home. And that's pretty much my weekend. So, my state gets a lot of fun poked at it, being New Jersey. But I've been here my whole life, and except for when I was in the military. And where I live in New Jersey, I could really do anything. I mean, from my house, within an hour and a half, I could be on some great flathead fishing. I could be on some great blue cat fishing. Um, I could be in some of the best trout streams. Within an hour ride. A lot of times even closer than that. Um, if I want to go skiing, I don't ski, but if skiing was your thing in the wintertime, or near, all the slopes, back in the day, well, now you can pretty much gamble anywhere. But back in the day, when gambling was only in certain areas, I'm 2 hours away from Atlantic City, New Jersey, which was all the casinos and stuff like that. So, again, the beach is only, I could technically be on a beach within 15, 20 minutes. Oceans, that would be Bayside. I could be, on the ocean beach within a half hour. If I go west, an hour puts me on the Delaware River, which is just all kinds of fish out there, with the exception of blue cats in my area, in my stretch of it at least. So yeah, the only bad part is it's heavily populated, and taxes are insane. Your property taxes are just nuts, and but it is what it is. Well, I got a house in you know in my town. I only have it was an old cape. It has an addition up top and out back, but by no means anywhere near what you see houses being built today are. And my property tax is running me right at 10,000 a year now. That's, I don't know. It seems like a lot of money to me for garbage pickup. Our sewer bill, there's a tax on the sewer too. I mean, you got your regular property tax, but then you have a sewer tax. So, and they run that off of your, they get the bill from the water company, see how much you use, and they base that, that way. My sewer tax bill is probably about 500 a month. Not a month. I'm sorry, 500 a year. So, there's taxes there just to my town. It's 10,500 for garbage pickup, basically. you know, Police. I don't have to worry about police. I can handle anything that happens in my house. So, oh, and if hiking's your thing, the Appalachian Trail has 77 miles of it through my state. I'm a big hiker too. I hike with my dogs. I have Australian cattle dogs that that hike, and so the Appalachian Trail is about an hour's ride from me. There's 77 miles of it. I've done a lot of the Appalachian Trail through all the states. I'll take a week off. This was all back before the hip got bad. I'd take a week off and do a section hike of, you know, all different states. I got a blue heeler that hiked up Mount Washington with me. And, she's 10 now, so she's hiked her whole life with me. With 9, she's 9. And I got a new pup. Well, I call him a pup, but he's 2 years old. I got a red heeler too, and he's coming along good. So we'll be back out there hiking. So hey, yeah, it's expensive living here. I mean, luckily, I'm at my job 34 years. I make a decent dollar for what I do, but you know, it keeps me. I'm not rich. I'm not poor. I'm right in the middle there. So ah, I got the chat, and I forgot to look. I lost sight of the Sasquatch. Oh, he's there. He's still there. He's right over there now, right along the bed. I think he, I think he knows I'm on to him. Oh, look at that! Sasquatch got himself a fishing rod. That's what he's been doing. He's probably seen now he's in it. He got a gray sweatshirt. I think it was from, I think I can read it from here. I think it says 49ers Super Bowl champs. Huh. Anybody new who might be watching, we're 3 hours and 15 minutes into a skunk fest. Nothing going on here. Keep scrolling. With that, two just dropped out. Either they heard it was a skunk fest or they were 49ers fans who didn't appreciate the joke. I'll have to make sure I don't do that again. Hey, Cleveland, what's going on? Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. I'll give you a quick update. We're 3 hours and 16 minutes into, and we haven't had a bite. Nothing going on here. I'm chasing channel cats. It's early though. Water's cold. Got 3 rods out. I got this rod here's got a cut eel on it. So is the second rod, which is over here. That's got a piece of eel on it also. And then I got one rod way down the end. You probably can't even see it now. It's got bluegill on it. But we haven't done anything. Just getting antsy, decided to come out. Decided to run a stream, I guess. I don't usually do this. You can tell, I think my channel has like one previous stream. But like I had mentioned earlier, I stream mainly because I have a couple Army buddies who can't get out anymore. And so when I come out, I set up a couple of rods. I got different kinds of baits. If they come in, I let them basically tell me what rod they want, and then what bait they want on the rod, and they can kind of fish a rod technically like through me, you know what I mean? So, and then we just chat, This time of year when the fishing's real slow, the company's kind of good. But, oh yeah, the weather's real nice here today. I mean, I bet you it had to be 5 inches of rain yesterday, and it was a cold rain. So that might have a lot to do with it, but I don't think it has much to do with it, really. I think the water's just still cold from the winter. This just opened up. It was frozen over. This just opened up last week. But right now, I bet you it's 60 or maybe a little bit above 60 degrees out. The sun's shining. It's a beautiful day. Just one fish would be the icing on the cake. And there's just channel cats in this one, this water. besides bass, bluegill, crappie, carp, everything else. There are good catfish in here. Out of here, I've gotten them up to 10 pounds. That's good for New Jersey, for where I'm at. But they show no interest so far. Was out last week. The week before that, had one good takedown, which I didn't connect on. That's been it. Have you been out fishing, Cleveland, or? I don't know if you saw that on the screen, but something of good size just broke water out there. Thinking it might be too early for the carp, but you never know. Yeah, Cleveland. I was out only maybe 2 or 3 times all last year for some crummy reasons, but feeling real good now, and like I'm just chomping at the bit. So I kind of rushed the season. Started early and have nothing to show for it. Man, I don't know if Catfish and Dreams is still here, but I think you could see him. It's the Sasquatch. Now he's got a big limb and he's knocking down the stuff over there. This is interesting. Ooh, I'm going to get set back up there. Well, I gotta use the men's room. So if you guys hear any bells or see any poles bend, just yell. I'll be right back. All right. Yep. I guess we didn't catch any. Hey, anyone know what time it is? Eastern. I think I'll give this about another 15 minutes and move on to something more productive today. Wind's starting to pick up a little bit. Come on, fish. For my channel catfishing, I have the Mojo cat rods, St. Croix. I like them a lot for the channel cats. And then if I'm going for the blue cats or the flatheads, I have the big cat fever rods. And I have a couple of slime cat rods too, but kind of like I like the big cat fever rods. One of the reasons is, being old school. I like cork. I always like cork handle rods, and Big Cat Fever still has that option. Slime Cat never had that option with any of their rods, so it's one of the reasons. Don't know why. Even even the St. Croix rods here that I got, the Mojo Cats, they're all cork handled. Just something when I was a little kid and grew up with. Next time I set up too, I got to get it set up a little better where you guys can see the rod tips in the screens. That tree line over there blocks the 2 of the 3. All right, y'all. I appreciate you coming in. I think I'm going to put an end to this. Doesn't seem like the fish know I'm here. I appreciate you for stopping in and keeping me company. And I will give it a shot. We'll do this all. Try again next week. Got to get that first catfish of the year sooner or later. All right, y'all. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it, y'all.